What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to what I think is going to be a very interesting episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek. My name is Tom Laird. I'm the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing. We are a call center outsourcer working for clients that look to outsource their customer support, inbound customer sales, email, chat, digital, anything that any way you want to talk to your customers. We can facilitate that for you. Located here in the United States in beautiful and turning rapidly into fall, northwestern Pennsylvania. So as you guys all know, the main reason we started this is to try to improve the quality of your contact center, try to give you actionable items that you can take back to your center, improve the quality, improve the overall culture, and hopefully improve the customer experience as well. So this should be interesting. I don't know how active a lot of you guys are on LinkedIn, but I'm pretty active. So again, I don't know, I'm not tooting my horn, but I think, I post stuff, I guess, from a call center person for call center people. So hopefully, the things that I post, I do put some thought into and hopefully they find helpful. So, check me out on LinkedIn. I think I could be a pretty good follow for some of you out there. It's funny though too, what works and what people kind of attach to and what they don't. And what I mean by that is there's so many things that I post that are, they're organic. There's something, maybe a blog post or something that we've created that I think is really interesting and we've taken a lot of time and that gets zero traction. And then there's other things that you think are, you kind of just do, maybe quickly or you're not really thinking too much of it. And I don't want to say go viral, but for me, going viral is, 10,000, 15,000 views in a 3 to 4 day period, which is what my last post, post a couple days ago got. And I wanted it to focus really on the podcast for it because I think, obviously that resonated in the contact center community. And a lot of people, had questions on it. And the topic, if you have not seen the LinkedIn post, is talking about cell phones in the call center, talking about, new wearable technology in the call center, and talking about a clean desk policy. And there's a lot of, different thoughts on that, especially the day and age that we're at. But I wanted to dig into that today and talk about what my philosophy is on that, what some of the things you need to be careful of. I wanted to let you know that we do have a no cell phone, kind of a no technology / no wearable policy on our call center floor. I've actually posted that actual policy on LinkedIn. So if you kind of look me up, Thomas Laird, I think is what I am on LinkedIn. You can find the actual policy that we have there. I also have that, a couple episodes back, we talked about that attendance policy that has worked so well for us. That policy is on there as well if you want to check that out. I think I also posted that on the Facebook page. After I publish this today, this podcast, I will go on the Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook page as well. And I'll post the policy there as well if you want to check that out from the cell phone. Here's my philosophy on this and kind of let's dig into this. And I'll give some kind of viewpoints that kind of go opposite of some of the things that people have posted in some of the comments on the last post. But number one is we work for clients, right? So the number one thing that is of utmost important to us is the security of our client, the security of the data of our client. If we have one breach, whether that be through a server, whether that be through a rogue employee, not only can I lose the client, I can lose 100% of my business. We definitely can lose our reputation. And that's something that I really will not compromise on. So the security of our call center really comes first. And that's kind of our part of our culture thing, which I'll get into here in a second. So from the policy standpoint, we have a strict, and we're not strict in a lot of things, right? And I think as you guys know, and if you followed me, in a lot of our culture things, we have a lot of fun. But one thing that we don't mess around with is our no cell phone policy. And our policy is seen or heard, right? So if you want to bring your cell phone on the floor, that's fine. It's not illegal to bring it on the floor, but most of our reps will turn it off or have the ringer off. But if you are seen looking at it, seen on it, or if your phone goes off in the middle of the room, it's an automatic 3-day suspension. I know that sounds hard, and I know that sounds harsh, but we wanted it to be, right? And we wanted this policy to stand out above all others. We really don't have anything else that is an automatic 3-day suspension other than if you're rude to a client or a customer on the phone, things like that, right? Egregious errors, but kind of the top quote unquote 1% of things that you could do improperly in our call center. So we wanted to make it stand out so that it kind of made everybody's head kind of turn a little bit when you hear about that, so that they understand the importance of it. We've turned this also to wearable technology. So this is our smartwatches. And I got a couple questions today. Well, I can understand the cell phones because you could take pictures of a screen, but why the wearable technology? Well, that technology is rapidly moving. You're going to be able to take pictures if you can't now, and I think on some of the devices you can. Second of all, we have and I'm going to get into this as well, we have a clean desk policy, and that can vary client to client, but our internal policy is a clean desk policy with no paper, no pens. So we think that wearable technology like a phone is basically like the digital version of a paper and a pen, where you could write down and you could email account numbers, account information, social security numbers, any of that type of information you could use with your kind of like your spy watch, right? That's kind of what, like you saw in the 60s, that's kind of what they would use those watches for. So we are very cognizant of the security of the client, making sure that doesn't happen. So that is also now a 3-day suspension. That's actually relatively new, and literally in the last couple months, we've added the wearable technology to it. So as we just talked about too, clean desk policy, no paper, no pens in our booth. If we need some type of, or if a client has something that we need to hang in the booth that we can't do digitally, we try to program our way through everything. But if we can't, then we laminate it, right? It gets a policy number. It's hung in the booth. It's hung in a specific area of the booth so that everybody knows exactly where to look for it. So that every piece of kind of paper, pen, even laminated paper is kind of in a secure area to make sure that that nothing can happen with that. I know that can be a little, people think that we're kind of old school. I did get some pushback on LinkedIn, and one of them, and I responded, but it was, what about the well-being of the employees? They have kids, they have dependents. You need to move on with the times. This is micromanagement, truly boring. Are you really promoting your place as a good place to work? And, and I kind of understand that. Right, I understand where kind of people are coming from now. But again, I think security trumps everything. And if you're going to work for a client and that client's going to entrust you with all their client information, they're going to entrust you with credit card information, with taking orders, with very, very, intimate details about the client, intimate details about each customer, then you need to make sure that you have these policies in place. And to the point of this, the person who posted, we talk to the reps about this, right? So this isn't like, you go to training and sign this and I don't want to hear a word about it. It's we explain why, right? We explain that, that for PCI compliance. And that's the other thing that kind of blows my mind with this, is that if people are questioning this, you're not PCI compliant. There's absolutely no way that you can have cell phones on your call center floor, that you could have paper, that you could have pens, that you could have all that technology and be PCI compliant. So what I would tell you too is if you're looking at call centers, and you need a PCI compliant contact center, make sure that, you're talking about this, right? I mean, even the stations, like our stations are totally locked down, right? So USBs can't be inserted and information taken out. We have locked down the computer for the reps they can't go on the internet, can't look at their email. And guys, that's a security aspect of bringing viruses into our organization. We try to do everything when the rep is sitting there to be working, right? And then we try to have as much fun as we possibly can to kind of keep their mind off of that stuff. So games that we're playing constantly in the call center, the environment that we have. We have special places in the call center that they can use their phones. We call it between the hedges because literally we have some hedges that are set up in a little cool kind of break area in one of the centers that they can go and they can be 5 feet off the floor, have their cell phone out. That's fine. But when they're sitting at their desk or when they're walking on the call center floor, they can't. I guess the other thing that surprised me is every single person, or I had, how this post kind of came into play here. And guys, this is a very, I guess, organic podcast that I'm doing here. I really didn't plan on this, but it got so much kind of, I guess, controversy and so many questions that I figured, this could be good for everybody. But so many people don't have this policy at all. And I know that I just kind of said that a couple of minutes ago with the PCI compliance, but that kind of really surprises me. And you have to be careful in today's age because, and some of you are going to say, well, you have to be careful who you're hiring. And yeah, you do. But when you grow to a 500 to 600 to 700 seat organization with maybe 1,000 employees, even if you're looking at the 1/2 of 1%, that's still a bunch of employees. So you have to do everything you possibly can to protect your organization, to protect the security. And I think it's BS if you tell me that that's such a big culture thing that it's going to ruin the morale of your organization. And I kind of said this a couple times, but if this is going to ruin the morale, then you have bigger culture issues than that. If your reps can't buy into the fact that you need to be secure as possible, that you need to make sure that data and PCI compliance kind of come first into your culture, then you have some bigger issues I think you need to work on. We always try to get, again, and this will be another podcast episode, but we always try to get those senior reps, right? Everybody's got those leaders, and try to get those leaders to really, really buy in. So even doing kind of committees or I don't want to say a student council, but a company council. I forget, we changed the name so many times, but an organizational council to where we do meet, once a month with some of the leaders in the rooms. And we talk about some of this stuff. We want to get that through to them. We want to talk about some of these newer ideas and get ideas from them on what, guys, if we need to do this, where can we have, areas where they can have their cell phones, or how does that work? How can you guys buy into this as well? So try to make it a two-way street. And if you do, you can make it a win-win for everyone if they're actually kind of understanding, why this is happening, why you need to do it, and just the absolute vital importance on everyone's call center of having security first. I mean, again, think about one data breach, one rep doing something just silly and stupid. So just, be very careful. I know some of you are still going to say, Tom, you are so old school. This is, it's 2019. And you know what, maybe we are. But I can sleep a little better at night knowing that, we're trying to do everything we possibly can to be as secure as we possibly can. It's just important. It's just important in today's day and age with the technology that, your policies are kind of staying up with it as well. So again, that's kind of where we are and what we do. Not saying it's right for everyone, but if you want to have a secure environment, I think it's something that you really need to look into. Again, I've posted our actual no cell phone policy. The reps actually sign an agreement, right? So they sign it, they read it, they sign it, they understand the importance of it, and they do that in training. So if there's any ever issues, we know that they know and they understand what the kind of the punishment or the repercussions of that is as well. All right, that's kind of my, it's a little bit of a quicker podcast, I guess, today, but, I wanted to get to the point. I thought that this was kind of important. So hopefully that can help you at least make you think and think through some of those security aspects of the newer technologies of not only just this no cell phone, but, really looking at a clean desk policy and also looking, from a security and a PCI compliance of looking at the new wearable technology as well. All right, guys, I do have the book that has just come out, and it's been selling awesome. It's More Advice from a Call Center Geek. It's on Amazon. Just Google it. You can find it. Kindle Unlimited is totally free. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. And then it's $3.99 for just the Kindle version if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, and then $12.99 for the book. It's about 150 pages of, I think, call center goodness. So if you want to take a peek at that, take a look at that. And also, if you could please post a review. We've gotten a couple more reviews in the last week, which I really, really appreciate. But for the podcast, if you want to post a review, please do. And then I'm going to post our policy on the Facebook page, the Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook page. So head on over there after this as well. By the time you listen to this, we should have that up, and you can kind of take a peek at what we're doing, what we do, and see if you want to implement some of that in your call center. Any questions about that, please don't hesitate to email me or ask me. You can find me on LinkedIn at Tom Laird, Thomas Laird at Expivia, or you can email me at tlaird@Expivia, EXPIVIA.net. All right, guys, thank you very much. That'll wrap up this week, and I'll talk to all of you next week.